Hi there. So it's the next morning. This is what I've got done. Basically, I switched needles. Them other ones were hurting my hands. Okay, so this is what I've got done so far. Okay, so let me situate this so that you can kind of see where it's going. Okay, so okay, right, there's where it's going. And of course, we had to switch collars. That's looking really good, actually. So, yeah, this is about to this part of my foot right here. So I need to go a couple more inches before I do some toe increases. This one, you can tell where I had switched the needles because they got really fat. Okay, and then I began to do the toe increases about here. Um, about here. So, if this sock minus the toe increases, I would be about right here, I think. Let me see. Let's see. Here's the heel. Okay, so with the heel. Oh, well, no, okay, so that's about where I'm at. Okay, so that's about how much I need to do before I do my toe increases. So that's probably about 2 inches, I bet. So, well, I'm probably going to go. It's 2 a.m. in the morning, and I made coffee. But I took a nap. I slept a long time. Like, I went to bed around 3 o'clock. When I woke up, it was like dark outside, and next thing you know, it's midnight. So, I'm making coffee, and I'm making coffee. So, I found all my knitting needles, though. I looked all over the place, and I found them. And the ones that I used for this one, I broke. Okay, so this is a size up. So this is a 4 millimeter. It's pretty big, but you really cannot tell the difference in the stitches. So I'm just saying they're a little bit bigger. I mean, you can tell, but not. I mean, you have to be looking up close to it, and it's gonna be on my feet. Okay, it's my sock. It's my footie. Okay, it's nobody else's. They don't match, the collars don't match, and the ribbing is totally not, excuse me, not the same. Okay, so, but my point is, I might have to switch collars again, which would be okay, but they'll be yellow. My toes will be yellow, like I said. God forbid, though. Not yellow toes. Okay, so it doesn't matter. If it is yellow, I don't mind. Okay, I think I got green, though. Think I would go for green rather than yellow, to be honest with you. With the blue and the light blue, I think I would go for a light pale green, like a mint green. So, but I do think I have that, that I will add to this, you know. And it doesn't seem to be going out too far because this is a very, compare the, look how skinny it is compared to the other one. It's very skinny. So it's a small, much smaller yarn. So it's not going out as far as that one did. When I switched needles, it went like way out. This one won't do that. This one won't do that because the yarn is thinner. Very skinny yarn. So that's good. Okay, so I'm done for tonight. I might do a few more rows because, of course, I'm drinking coffee. And, yeah, I might get it done. I might just get it done. Uh, I don't know. You know, it's just something to keep me going, because, I'm, it, I have a drive inside of me that's unexplainable. Okay. I feel like I look like I'm in my 40s, my late 40s. That means I've got at least 20 good years left to go. That's good. My body is healthy. I just had my mammogram screening and no cancer. My lung can't CT, no cancer. My colon, no cancer. So, my pap, no cancer. So I'm good. I'm good for my colon's good for 10 years. My lungs are good for a year. My MAMs are good for a year. My PAPs are good for a year. So that's good. Those are the major places that women get cancer at this age. But I don't smoke. Okay, and it's the black smoke. Contrary to popular opinion, vapes are not as bad as cigarettes. I don't care what anybody says. I did a research paper on it in college. Not a lot of research about it, but there is enough to know that the American Heart and Lung Association confirms vapes were made not to get you to quit smoking, but to stop the cancer-causing chemicals that cause cancer in you. They was trying to cut down on the cancer-causing chemicals. That's why vapes are better. They tell you, don't vape if you don't smoke. But if you smoke, vape instead of smoke. Okay, and then they talk about popcorn lung. Okay. What's popcorn lung? I don't know. But I get it's not cancer. Okay. So your lungs look like a bunch of popcorn kernels inside. Nobody's looking at your lungs. You can still breathe. And you don't have cancer. It's the black smoke from smoking that causes cancer. Anyway, this was not supposed to be a promotion for vapes. I'm just saying I'm good to go. At my age, I'll be 54 this next month. Coming up November 14th, I'll be 54. And I'm going strong. Just now starting to really settle in to this place. Missing my children. I, kind of just worry about them because they're my kids, okay? They don't seem to remember that, after I got back from prison, I got that job as a secretary for Muncie Alliance for the Prevention of Substance Abuse. Worked there for 2 years. Taylor was in high school. He was a senior in high school, and he was a starter on the football team. But I never went back home. Okay, the whole prison thing was a setup. Okay, my husband's abuse. This was an extension of my husband's abuse. My husband was extremely abusive, and he used police and child protection, everybody, just to spank me. And he's the one who's really bad, not me. I don't do nothing wrong. He's violent. He's a sex offender. He's a drug addict, and I was none of those things. Okay, but he was going to hit me. The one thing that he could hit me over the head with was alcohol, because I wouldn't let him take it away because it was abusive. It was an extension of his abuse. It's just his prosthetic arm hitting me till he kills me, okay? But he was trying to rob me of my inheritance. My mom kind of set me up for that because I couldn't get it put in my name, Well, anyway, I went to prison. I never went back home. He was training my kids not to help me, not to feel sorry for me, and I'm the victim, okay? He's a psychopath, okay? So everything my kids are doing are extensions of my husband's motives and thoughts. So everything they do is mean and cruel. And I just might as well never worry. I might as well just chalk up my grandkids as a figment of my imagination. I'm never going to have a family. When me and him separated, if I wasn't going to have him, I wasn't allowed to have nobody. And he wanted to load me down with all kinds of bullshit, like you're a child molester, blah, blah, blah. You're violent. No, I'm not, okay? But he gave me that reputation so that I would commit suicide. That was his way of committing a perfect murder. Mom, Myra, you know what I'm doing? I'm sitting here trying to figure out how to commit the perfect murder. He said that to me right before he started. And I had a $250,000 life insurance policy on me, and he was the beneficiary. Okay? at the time, and he's trying to figure out a way to get me to kill myself. That's him getting away with the perfect murder. Okay, so I'm going really in depth in my psyche, and because I'm going through menopause, and I'm really feeling the depression, and I'm missing my kids, and you can't just wait, until 20 years later and tell people that the reason I had I got you guys taken when I didn't. He got in trouble, not this one, but the other one got in trouble. Okay, the other one was a setup. He was taken out of the home because they were setting me up. It was an agreement. They never had an excuse to take him. Never. Okay, he robbed my driver's license, robbed my cars. I have 5 fucking cars, and he robbed them. Okay, took them all. My driver's license and my home. $120,000 house. That was the kids' inheritance. My mom was leaving it to my kids and didn't want me to put it in my name so that I wouldn't lose it. But if I don't get it put in my name, I can't get a mortgage on it. At all. I can't do nothing at all. She didn't want me to get a mortgage on it and not be able to pay it and lose it that way. Yeah, well, I lost it anyway, and it was that reason.
You've got
mail. Okay, so the whole point is, this is therapy for me because I'm going through menopause, and I am just now feeling the depression. Okay, the sadness, the loneliness, and just starting to think about shit. They 20 years later, they're going to make up shit and try to hurt my feelings. And people are treating me like it's true, too. I'm like, you guys are just aching for a lawsuit because there's no evidence there's no evidence behind what they're saying to substantiate what they're saying behind. They're not going by any evidence. They're just going by shit to hurt my feelings. It's an extension of my husband's abuse. Okay? It's the devil's plot. It always been the devil's plot in the Bible. If he can't get to you, he will get to your children. Try to kill your children. But what is it when he goes after your children and tries to get your children to kill you? Yeah, it's the devil's plot for sure. He was definitely evil. And racist against every person, but especially the ones closest to him, which the people that loved him and trusted him, he had to violate them to the point of no return. Okay, to the point where you can't forgive him, or you're so injured that, he can't forgive himself because he has to look at your injury every day and know he caused it. Okay? Thank God he did not do that, as far as I know. But he might have. I don't know. That might be the whole point, is he might have hit him in the head so hard. And that might be what's wrong with my kids, is because he was so violent, and they could have brain damage. Okay? And it's not impossible. But there is his foster parents are never going to sit there and corroborate his fucking story. Okay, that he's telling his girlfriend that he's trying to tell these people out here to get these people to treat me like, to count me out and to treat me like an outsider and like somebody who don't belong. That hurts my feelings, and it's the worst thing you can do to somebody. Okay, and I just don't understand why he would do that. Okay, I kept wanting to blame his girlfriend. I believe his girlfriend has a lot of part into doing it, but my husband was more like that than anybody. So, and I don't know if she knew him, but she's just like him. She does have his personality. She's a psychopath for sure. Every single one of my sons are dating a psychopath that is acting just like my husband. And they all are listening to this story that my husband made up after the fact. Okay, there was never any truth in it. It's gossip, it's slander, it's rumors, and it's not based on nothing. But I don't think he was planning on me facing it, or me, standing. I don't think he thought he would live to see me live through it. But he started losing his eyes. He started going blind. Okay, there was something wrong with him, and the doctors were telling him, no, it's in your head. because he had a disease he couldn't get rid of, and it just kept eating his flesh from the inside and getting to his eyes. He was blind. He was getting blind. He couldn't see shit, and nobody wants to take care of a mean ass. He's violent. Nobody wants to take care of him. And so, you know, he shot himself. I can't say that's the reason why he did it, but I mean, I guarantee you, he couldn't do nothing on his own if he's blind, and nobody was there to take care of him because his body was there for over 2 weeks in somebody else's house, sitting there undiscovered, and the cops were not, before they found him. His dead body was sitting there for, yeah, and then he was sitting there in the morgue for at least over 2 weeks. He was there. He was dead for a month before they cremated him, because they had to get somebody to ID his body, and they could find nobody to ID his body. Well, his brother and his brother's girlfriend, which is my son's baby's mama, that don't tell you, you know, and is his older brother. Okay, I mean, if that don't tell you something, then whatever. I'm just saying, he died in her chair at her house in her apartment and was sitting there for 2 weeks. Where in the fuck were they? Where were they? Where was his brother? Where was, you know, that looks like they're guilty. I mean, who's just saying he didn't shoot him and take off and leave? I mean, he's violent too. That's where he gets it from. His brother and his dad. Anyway, there was rumors flying around that he possibly was murdered. And if he was, and it looks very suspicious that, you know, the owner of the house would be gone for that long with his brother, and there's no police, no nothing, and no evidence, forensic wise, that they could prove that somebody else did it. I don't know. As far as I know. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I don't know. I'm just saying. Why did they do that? Why did they wait 2 weeks before the police were called and found? I mean, did he have to stink up the neighborhood before somebody fucking realized that he was dead? I mean, were they walking in and out of the house, you know, the apartment, going to work and living every day, or were they fucking so drugged out that they didn't notice that he was just sitting there, never moving, for 2 weeks, dead? Oh, wait a minute, huh? Do you smell that smell? What's that smell? I don't know. Hey, Eric, what's that smell? He ain't. I'm sick and tired of his attitude. I'm gonna go over there and talk to him. Oh my God, he's dead. I wonder how long he's been dead. 2 fucking weeks. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy tonight. I'm Tuesday Adams. I'm your host. Thanks for joining me.